Let me see whether I can enable my webcam like this, because there is some issue with my MacBook. Yeah. So I thought I'll manage in this way for today. Okay. Let me share my screen and let's get started. Hope you all have received the details on LinkedIn, the questions, and hope you all have answered. Okay. If you haven't done so, I request you all to please start doing that. Okay. Today also there will be questions which we will post on LinkedIn. I request you all to respond on the comments section of LinkedIn. Okay. Before we get started, do you have any questions on how the things are progressing? Do you have any doubts, any clarifications? Please feel free to ask. Volume is too low, is it?
Hello, sir. Myself, sir.
Hello. Yeah.
Hello, sir. Hi, sir.
Hi.
Good evening,
Hi.
sir.
Hi, Usha Bhavani. Yeah. Good evening.
Sir, yesterday you told me that there are some questions related to yesterday topic.
Right.
Where can I see those questions, sir, to answer those?
Those I believe are posted on LinkedIn already. Hey, 360 team, Rachana, did you post or not
No, sir,
on
not yet.
LinkedIn?
I'm not able to see those questions, sir.
Okay, okay.
It's there, sir.
So there is it. Okay.
Please
So
send the link if it is possible, sir.
yeah, we'll post it here. Sorry?
I will
Hello?
again post in that group.
Yeah, post in that group and also post in this chat window, please.
Yeah, sir.
Once.
If it is possible, post in WhatsApp group. It is better to also.
It's there in the WhatsApp group already.
Okay, we'll post it once again. No issues. Let's post it once again, Rachna. And yeah. So as I've requested you all, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, to the LinkedIn page, so that the moment something is posted, you are notified.
Thank you,
You'll
sir.
get the
Thank you, sir.
notification. Yeah. Any other questions, friends? Is my volume okay or is it too low? Because I'm using this particular mic. Sorry? Is my voice low?
No, sir.
No, sir. It is okay, sir. It is okay. Audible.
All right. So since my voice is audible, I'll proceed further. And we will take this discussion to the next level. All right.
Sir,
So hello, everyone.
Yeah. Sir, I have a query.
Please ask.
Sir, nowadays, when companies are coming for placement in colleges, they are selecting students based on like the role they are offering as a software engineer or like something related to software. My question is, nowadays we have different branches like cybersecurity, AI, AIDS. So if students or their parents are asking us like, what extra, I mean, what is the speciality of that particular branch which offers, like when it comes in terms of placement, is there any difference in the job offers? Like I can't see any difference. Now they are taking people in the same category. Only thing is, in these companies, in their R&D wing, they are taking people, right? Once they join the firm, later they can shift to the departments. So my doubt is, while attending placement, is there any opportunity like students can directly move on to this AI wing?
Absolutely, ma'am. Absolutely. So what usually happens in companies is, because I also work with Infosys. Infosys will hire huge number of people, right? And what they do is they give a designation called as associate software engineer, so on and so forth. However, when they actually start working, they will work on projects related to AI. Someone who has done BTech in data science, or BTech in AI ML would prefer that only. BTech in data science, BTech in AI ML. Okay. And they'll give a job to the people in that space only. Did I answer your question or did I not? If I didn't answer, then I request you to let me know so that I may.
So can you make it more clear, sir?
Sure. Just a moment. Rachna, can you make the other name? If you type Bharani Kumar, you'll have another name. Can you make that name also as a co-host? Hello? If you type in search for my name, Bharani Kumar, you'll have another name because I connected from another machine for enabling my webcam. Can you make that name also co-host, please? Let me know once it is done. Yeah, thank you so much. Now I think I'll be able to enable the camera. I just disabled because my kid came in. Okay, so sorry. Yeah, so I'm saying that. So let me write down your question. Probably this might be relevant for everyone. And the question that you're asking is that we have a lot of fields or a lot of branches. Okay. And you have branches such as BTech in computer science, BTech in data science, BTech in AI ML. Then you also have BTech in cyber security, etc. Okay. And then you're saying that when a specific company, say Infosys, comes for hiring, they're hiring everyone and giving a designation called as software engineer. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
All
sir.
I'm saying is in companies, they have standard designations. For example, if you look at Infosys, since I've worked there, I'm telling you, you'll have something called as software engineer, senior software engineer, team leader, manager. In that way, you have various designations. However, when they join the company, after the initial training, initially there'll be some fresher training. Okay. After the initial training, if you are from AI/ML background, you'll be assigned projects on artificial intelligence and AI. Okay. After the initial training, you'll work on these projects only. And if you're from cybersecurity, if they give you a role designation as senior software engineer, does not mean that you'll be sitting and developing web applications or mobile applications. They will give you projects in the space of cybersecurity only because 4 years you learned that. You'll be adding more value, right? So in that way. The reason why they give generic designations is because, say, a company does not have any projects on artificial intelligence in the future. In the future, say 2, 3 years down the lane, then they can switch you to some other technology which is in demand at that point of time. Hence, they make the designations as very generic. There is ITC Infotech. Okay. ITC Infotech will give you designations such as associate consultant. Okay, since I work there, I'm telling you, a consultant, senior consultant, in that way. So, though the designations are standard, the work that you do inside will still be based on, whatever you do, whatever work you do. However, if there are people with data science in BTech in computer science, plus say they have done some program or say they worked on real world projects in the space of AI, if they can demonstrate that, certainly they will be considered for working in the space of projects in AI. Because nowadays there are a lot of openings in the space of AI. Yeah. Hope This is clear?
Yes, sir. Actually, that was my doubt. And now I got an answer like they will acquire in terms of software engineer, but after the training, if they are from AI, they may be directed to AI projects. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, friends. So let's proceed further and discuss more. Okay, so let me also put the PPT in presentation mode, and then let me help you all understand a few things, right? Yesterday, what did we talk about? We spoke about the roles. We spoke about the roles such as data engineer. What do they do? Okay, let me. We also spoke about what does a data analyst do? What does a data scientist do? Okay. What does MLOps expert do? MLOps specialist. What does a GenAI expert do? GenAI and prompt engineering professional or prompt engineer. We discussed all these things, and we discussed about the differences between certain terms, which people usually get confused. What is the difference between artificial intelligence, um, data science, data mining, machine learning, deep learning? Okay. And then there are many things, reinforcement learning, and so on and so forth. We also learned about the terminologies such as LLM ops, generative AI ops. Then we spoke about drag ops. And then we also have something called as MLOps, right? I would like to spend some time on MLOps and something called as CRISP MLQ for today. Once you start understanding this, from tomorrow, when we actually get into LLM ops, GenAI ops, RAG techniques, etc., your life will become very simple, of course. Of course, even before that, I would also like to touch upon prompt engineering. So tomorrow, gear yourself. It'll be the world of prompt engineering that we will delve into. But before we get into prompt engineering, I would give you a gist about LLM ops or how a typical GenAI solution looks like. And then we'll get into prompt engineering. Okay. So today it's all CRISP MLQ. And let's get started. CRISP MLQ, as I've told you guys yesterday, it stands for Cross Industry Standard Process for machine learning and quality assurance. And there are a lot of different, variants of CRISP which have come up, like CRISP TDM, which is temporal data mining, CRISP DM, which is null hypothesis and confirmatory, CRISP EM, evidence mapping, CRISP MED, which is for healthcare, so on and so forth. And then in the initial days, I will call this as old, I'll call this as new for a reason, yeah? And in the initial days, people were following CRISP DM, data mining. DM stands for data mining, which had 6 phases. Okay. And these are the different phases. Phase 1, phase 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. But the key element was missing from CRISP DM. That is, after you build a model and deploy it, Okay, after you build the model and deploy it, you should also monitor and maintain the model. You cannot assume that I built a model, job done. I built a model, done and dusted. You cannot say that, right? You have to continuously monitor and maintain the model. And since that element of monitoring and maintenance was missing from CRISP DM, people came up with something called as CRISP MLQ. In CRISP MLQ, they combined business understanding and data understanding, and they formed something called as business and data understanding. Then this is phase 1. Data preparation is phase 2. Modeling, evaluation, deployment, monitoring, and maintenance. These are the 6 phases that we have now. Okay. And once you have data in place, you need to start extracting information from the data. You need to bring out patterns in the data. You need to understand what is the knowledge in the data. You need to bring out those things, right? Then comes your training phase. In the training phase, you take your data and train your data. Okay, basically, within your data, you will have inputs and output. You'll have output and you'll have inputs. For example, does a person have cancer or not? Okay, or I'll take a rather simpler example. Say you took an appointment with a doctor. Okay, say dentist. You had some issue with your teeth, so you booked an appointment with a dentist doctor. Will you show up or will you not show up? Sometimes you might book an appointment and you might not even go, right? You might not even go to the hospital. So that becomes no show. Okay, it will be called as no show. If you book your appointment and then if you go, it will be called as show. So are you showing up or not showing up? And then maybe your age, your gender, your educational qualification, your income, all these things might be considered. So say there is a person with 32 years, male, graduation, that person say is a graduate, and say income is $10,000. Okay. So here, the person is not showing up. So what your machine learning algorithm does is, it will help you learn this pattern. That if these are the inputs, output will be no show. In that way, you also have show. Here also, your algorithm, when you say training, all it does is it will take your data, which is nothing but your inputs, and it will take your output, which is your output variable here, and it will learn the patterns. Say there is a person who is 58 years old, female, postgraduate, right? Say income is $20,000. So your algorithm will learn the patterns that if there are in the future people with 58 years, female, postgraduate, etc., they will show up. It will learn those patterns. Your machine learning algorithm, any machine learning algorithm for that case, what it does is it will learn the patterns in the data. Once the patterns are learned, you use it, you deploy it. If you feel that the model is giving you good accuracy during evaluation, you deploy it. And once you deploy it, people will start using it. That is called as inference phase. In inference phase, what happens is you have new data, which is supplied to your model, which you built. Because what you have done is you have taken your output, you have taken your inputs, Okay, you have taken your data, that is inputs and output, and then you ran a lot of machine learning algorithms which learned the patterns and built a model. And whenever you have new data, you supply it to your model. And then finally you get an output. This is how it works. Okay. These are the 6 phases of CRISP MLQ. It's always good to know, okay? Business and data understanding. In each of the phases, we'll delve deeper. I'll explain it 2 to 3 times so that you remember things. First thing is, you need to understand what is the business problem. Second, you need to come up with business objectives. Third, you define the success criteria. Then, in the part which is called as feasibility here, requirements on the application, machine learning technology, etc. Here, you come up with something called as design. Okay, you come up with a design. I'll talk more about design as well, yeah. So I'll talk and explain in the context of generative AI only. You'll understand, don't you worry. Then you go and collect the data. Once you collect the data, you verify whether the data is of good quality or not. Then once this verification part and all is done, you move to phase 2 after phase 1. Phase 2 is data preparation. The data that you collect might not be of good quality. It might have a lot of irrelevant stuff. So what should you do? You need to ensure that you remove the noise. First of all, select the right data. Remove the, wrong things which are happening in the data, clean the data, construct the data, standardize the data. Many things happen, but eventually that's called as data preparation phase. So after your phase 1, which is business and data understanding, you go to data preparation phase. Well, again, I'll talk more about it in the generative AI context. Just hold on. The third thing is model building, where you train your model. Okay, you train your model basically, and there are many things that you need to consider when you train your model. Then this is phase 3, of course. Then you have phase 4, which is evaluation. When you evaluate your model, you should not just check how accurate your model is or not. Accuracy is only one part of it, but you have to ensure that you check whether the solution that you built or the machine learning model that you built, is it meeting your business success criteria, machine learning success criteria, and economic success criteria or not. You check all of these aspects. Then you go ahead with deployment. You go and deploy a model in production. After that, you have the final phase, which is monitoring and maintenance. So you'll have deployment. Then you have monitoring and maintenance phase. We'll talk about all these things, okay, in a very detailed manner. I just wanted to scratch the surface at this point of time. And then the cycle repeats. All right. So if you have your questions on I don't want to take this toy example and explain. Instead, let me do one thing. I'll take I'll take an example from your Gen AI space, generative AI, because that is what we promised to train you on. And then explain crisp MLQ framework using Gen AI. Okay, that would probably make more sense. So for that, I believe you have to allow me a quick minute because I created something which is interesting. At least I felt it's interesting. So I want to walk you guys through that. That I would certainly need you people to allow me a quick minute. A quick minute, friends. That's it. It won't take a lot of time. I created a nice article, so I want to use that article while I explain you all. And I also felt that that article was pretty simple. So that is the main. Sorry, meanwhile, if you have any questions, please ask me. If you feel that, no, time is getting wasted, then please unmute and ask questions. Even if you don't feel that time is getting wasted, please unmute and ask your questions. I'll be more than happy to answer. Until I quickly bring up a very, very simple architecture in place. And it's very bad habit of creating the architecture, saving it somewhere.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, yeah, please ask. Go ahead.
Sir, if you don't mind, can you repeat the abbreviation of CRISP, sir?
CRISP is cross industry standard process. I repeat,
Cross industry standard.
industry standard process.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
ML is machine learning and Q is quality assurance.
Yes. Okay, sir. Thank you. So, industry standard process. Organizations.
Okay, I need to open a different document. I think I found okay, fine. So let's go ahead. Even if I don't find it, that's okay. I'll use I'll scribble. I'll draw here and then show you what typically happens, when you ask questions. Okay. And when you ask questions to ChatGPT, what usually happens? Right? That is what we will try to answer.
Sir, we are unable to see anything on screen.
Yeah, I know you are unable to see because just trying to write something and then okay. Okay, fine. No issues. I just removed this scribbling pad and I've connected it again. So I think it should be fine now. All right. So what is the first phase of CRISP MLQ? Business and data understanding. Okay. Say there is a hospital which has a lot of attrition. What do you mean by attrition? People resign and go. Say a hospital is experiencing a lot of attrition. Then whenever a new person joins, say a new nurse or hospital administration staff, whenever they join, they have to train them. First thing. What will they train them on? If you are, say, moving a patient from if you're moving a patient from ward A to ward B, say patient is here in ward A, now you want to move from this patient to ward B. Whenever you want to move patient from one ward to another, you'll have certain processes, certain protocols to be followed. Say the healthcare professionals and nurses, they are forgetting certain protocols or processes to be followed, which is causing inconvenience to the patient, and thereby it is leading to negative branding for the hospital. Assume this is the problem for now. If this is a problem, then you need to train the staff, nurses, hospital administration, etc. You need to train them. So the business, in business understanding, okay, let me write it down rather than, I think everything is not listed. I'll only select a few things and help you guys with that. Okay. The first thing is you need to understand within business and data understanding, you need to understand the business problem. And the business problem is that whenever patient is moved from one ward to another, the nurses or healthcare professionals are not following the right protocols or processes. Why? Probably because a lot of people are resigning and going and new people are joining. And it's taking time for new people to learn the process or protocol. Okay, assume this is happening. So this is a business problem. Now, as soon as you identify the business problem, you also need to come up with a high-level solution. What might be the solution here? You might say that, do you know what? Let me do one thing. Let me build a GenAI solution here. Okay, let me build a generative AI solution here. And I will take all these processes and protocols and I will train the large language model such that whenever there are any questions, people will be given a window where they can ask a question like your chat GPT basically. Whatever questions you have asked, I'm moving patient from ward A to ward B, what protocols have to be followed? And it will give you the entire response on the screen. So this will ensure that you don't forget anything. Okay, this will ensure that you do not forget anything at all. Okay. So once you get an understanding on the business understanding is done, you document what? Business problem. And then you also document high-level solution. This is not done yet, right? You also need to document something called as business objective. And your business objective should have a clear linkage. It should have a clear linkage with your business problem. What is your business problem? Whenever patients are moved between wards, hospital staff is not following the right protocol. That's the problem. And what is happening because of that? It's causing inconvenience to the patients, and thereby hospital is getting a bad reputation. So to solve this problem, your objective will be to maximize patient convenience. Okay, you have to maximize the patient convenience. To maximize the patient convenience, you can also say that I'm going to train the healthcare professionals very, very regularly. I'll train them every probably 2 days or every 3 days or once in every week. If you're going to train them so many times or for so many hours, who will do their job? If you're going to put them continuously in trainings, your business will be impacted, right? So you should ensure that you also think about something else which is called as business constraint. Business constraints will help you bear in mind that you don't want to negatively impact something else. For example, say you want to maximize the patient convenience. Because the business problem is because nurses are forgetting the protocols, processes when moving the patient from one ward to another, it's causing inconvenience to patients, thereby negatively impacting the brand of the hospital. So you mentioned maximize patient convenience. Now you'll have constraints that you have to list down. Constraint could be something which is going to negatively impact your solution. For example, if someone says just maximize patient convenience, what would you do? Maybe you'll train more nurses for more number of hours, which is all about cost. Operational cost will increase. Maybe you might say that I want to hire more people, more nurses. That will also negatively impact your operational expenses. So in business constraint, you have to mention that while you maximize the patient convenience, you also have to minimize the operational expenses. Okay, this is what we need to do. But after this, so let me write it down here. 1, you have to document business problem. 2, high level solution. 3, business objective. 4, constraint. Now there is a fifth element. And that fifth element is you have to document the success criteria. In the success criteria, you have 3 things. One is business success criteria, machine learning success criteria, and the third thing is economic success criteria. These are the 3 things you have to record at any given point of time. What is your business objective? Maximize patient convenience. So whatever is your business objective, that has to be listed as a success criteria. But this has to be quantitative, quantified. What do you mean by quantified? Okay, let me explain here. Maximize patient convenience. Okay, so what could be business success criteria related to that? Increase customer satisfaction score, CSAT score or customer satisfaction score. If I leave it like this, then it is qualitative, meaning even if I increase the customer satisfaction score by 0.1, that's okay because you didn't mention anything. Okay. Hence, you have to quantify it. Increase CSAT score by at least 2 points. If people are giving a rating of 3, they should start giving a rating of 5 on a scale of say 1 to 7. So, or 1 point. If say on an average, you're having a 4-star rating, or say you're having 3.5-star rating on an average. So if you have to increase it by 1 point, then from 4.5, you should get on an average 4.5 rating. When will when will patients give this kind of a rating? When you take care of them properly, when you follow the protocols, when you don't, cause harm to them. So success criteria has to be defined 3: business, machine learning, and economic. When you define business success criteria, it should be related or it should be linked to business objective. So if you see this business problem, okay, then business objective and success criteria, within that, of course, business success criteria, these 3 are closely related, right? Business problem, business objective, and business success criteria are very closely related. Then you have machine learning success criteria. When will someone say that your generative AI solution is good? When it gives very good accuracy. Say if it gives you right results. So you can say that when generative AI solution like ChatGPT gives responses, I'll also have doctors and healthcare professionals check whether those responses are right or wrong. That means you're saying that you'll do human evaluation. You will have your ChatGPT kind of application provide responses, and you'll also make doctors or healthcare professionals or head of nursing department monitor the responses. Okay, this is called as human evaluation. Then you might say that I will check, I'll do human evaluation, and using that, if the accuracy is going to be greater than 95%, then I will accept this solution. Otherwise, I'll not accept this solution. Okay. Finally, whoever gives you this GenAI solution or whoever pays money for building such an application will obviously ask you how much money are you going to save me? Right? So sorry guys. Yeah, so sorry. Okay. So this is what happens. So, okay, anyways. All right. So you'll have economic success criteria, which is money. If I'm going to build such a solution, how much money will you save? So if you say increase the customer satisfaction of the patients by 1 point, they will go and refer many other people. They will say, hey, this hospital is very good. Please go and get admitted there whenever you have any issue. By doing that, your hospital administration or your hospital business will grow. And because of this growth in business, maybe your revenues will grow. But by how much percentage? That you have to approximately do some calculation by contacting the hospital. Okay. And then maybe, or based on your previous history of projects that you have handled, you can come up with some number. For this, obviously, you need some business knowledge. And you might say that Hey, I'm going to help your business grow by at least say 5 lakhs per month. I'll help your business grow by at least 5 lakhs per month. So by giving these numbers, okay, by giving these numbers, I am quantifying. So tomorrow, after I build the solution, if someone wants to check whether the project is a success or a failure, they'll directly come to the success criteria. They will check whether we met the business success criteria or not, whether we met the machine learning success criteria, yes or no, whether we met economic success criteria, yes or no. This is what they check. Okay. So this is how you come up with the business understanding part of I repeat, crisp MLQ, not the data understanding. We're yet to get there. Now I'll erase all these things and I have a question for y'all. So I told, right, everyone should respond. Only then we'll give you an opportunity to work on research projects, work alongside our team, get your name published on international journal. Many benefits are there alongside the certificate, right? So the question is now, name any 3 key activities of business understanding phase. Okay, please do this. Yeah, I'll answer that question, Shini's. Yeah, please answer this question. Name any 3 activities of business understanding phase. Sorry. Quickly, friends, quickly answer. Please use the chat window and answer. I request everyone to respond. You need to be active. Okay. Only then the project certificate and everything will come your way. So please answer. Yep. Now the responses started flowing in. Okay, wonderful. People have started responding. Okay. So I think a lot of you all have responded. It means a lot. I truly appreciate. But then I have one more thing to quickly show you guys. Where are the posts? Hey, can someone share with me the link to the questions which are posted on LinkedIn, please? Can I see the LinkedIn post where the questions are posted? Yep, thank you. Hmm. I don't know, why is it asking me to? Let me do this. Yeah. Perfect. A lot of you all have responded. This is exactly how I request you all to respond. And this is how in the comment section you have to respond. And this would basically, we'll be tracking it, no doubt about it. Okay, we'll be tracking it and we'll be responding. We'll be providing you the provision for various other purposes, right? However, I request you all to click this link. Let me view it as a member. Yeah. Here is the link, and people who are on YouTube also, I request you all to do this. I'll give you quickly a minute. Please, you might want to follow. All you need to do is follow, because a few of you all were saying that you missed out, right? That question. If you click on follow, what happens is next time when a question is posted, you'll directly be notified. In the notifications, you'll come to know. So I would request you all to do that. I already posted on the chat. Okay. People who are on YouTube also might want to do this. Quick 1 minute, and then we'll move on. Thank you so much. I believe a lot of you all have started following. You just need to click on it. And if you don't have a LinkedIn account, you have to be creating your LinkedIn account. You need to be active. A lot of colleges, universities, especially the top-notch colleges, universities, are looking at whether you are active or not on social media. Okay, that is also mandatory. You cannot just like that say that, hey, I don't want to be active on social media. How does it matter? No, there is no excuse on that front. Yeah, you have to be active on social media. So please do this. And also YouTube. If you're wondering on where is the video, where is it getting posted, please let me know, right? Then you need to certainly have the, access to this. Let me go there to our home page and let me give you this particular link. Here we go. Yeah, that's a YouTube thing. Please just click on subscribe. It doesn't take a lot of time, right? All right. I'll just wait again for a quick minute. It'll be here. I think when you go to live, you'll be able to see those. We are going to club these and create a playlist. Our team will be creating a playlist, and you'll have all these videos here, yesterday's video, today's video, etc., in a playlist format for your consumption. Okay. So in the business understanding phase, in business understanding phase, you need to document business problem, and you also need to come up with high level solution. to this business problem. Then you also need to document the business objectives. Then you also need to document business constraints. And you also need to document success criteria. In this business success, you need to have business success criteria, machine learning success criteria, economic success criteria. These three. Okay, and there has to be a clear linkage between business problem and business objectives and business success criteria. So there has to be a clear linkage. Done. Okay. So once these things are done, you need to move to the next step, and that is data understanding. Before you move to data understanding, there is one more thing, friends. That is architecture. Very, very important thing, right? Architecture diagram should be created. And when it comes to Gen AI kind of solutions, you need to come up with something called as training pipeline. And you also need to come up with something called as inference pipeline. I would certainly not trouble you guys a lot with, very detailed design. Okay. But I'll just tell you at a high level on what has to be done. You need to come up with first high level design document. I'll draw it and show it to you, on how high level design document looks like. High level design, okay, should be created for training and inference, both purposes. Okay, you need to create high level design document. Then after high level design document is created, you need to come up with something called as DAR, decision analysis and resolution. Decision analysis and resolution. What is DAR also, I'll explain in a moment from now. And then after high level design document, you'll have DAR. From DAR comes low level design document or detail level design document. This is in short called as HLD. This is in short called as LLD or DLD. In decision analysis and resolution, you have a lot of techniques such as Pew matrix or advanced hierarchical process document, so on and so forth. Many techniques exist. But now, what I wish to do is create just a high level design. Okay. So that you are aware of how it is created. Simple. Okay. So let's do it. I might say that I will get all the input documents from a specific place. Okay. Do I draw it? Or maybe I will create a screen. Huh? Let me take a black screen just to make it look a little different. Yeah, that's it. So first thing is maybe you will have input documents. What do you mean by input documents? The hospital process documents. Hospital process documents. Maybe you will take that. You might have huge number of documents, very, very large in size. Say all these are PDF documents, which will explain the process on, what should you do when you move a patient from one department to another, for example. Since this is a very large document, what you do is you ultimately create chunks. Okay, because maybe the PDF document is very large. So maybe you might want to create text chunks. So maybe this big document, PDF document, you'll break it down into smaller components, small files. Maybe this PDF document has 1000 pages. You create probably 100 pages each. Okay, and you create small chunks. Each of this PDF document will contain what? Text, some kind of text. So what you might want to do is, you might want to use something called as an encoder model. Some model, okay? I'm trying to become very artistic, okay? Assume that this is some model that is available. This model will convert the text, okay, whatever text you have, it will convert those, text or words basically into embeddings. Embedding is a technique used to convert text into numbers. Okay, so converting text into number is nothing but embedding. These numbers, now the text got converted into numbers like 1, 2, 6, 7, some numbers. And that would go and sit in your database. And usually when you build a Gen AI solution, the database that you use is called as vector database. Okay, you end up creating a database which is called as vector database. Okay, now say there is a large language model which is already trained by OpenAI or Microsoft or Google. We will not have that amount of money to train, okay, large language models. Forget about it. We'll not have that amount of money for sure. So this part that I've shown you here, you took the hospital process documents, which were probably 1000-page in size. You came up with text chunks, say 50-page, 100-page documents each. Then say you created an encoder model. And this encoder model, from this, say you got embeddings. These embeddings, say you put it into a vector database. This part that you see, this part. Okay, I'm trying to have some kind of a boundary for this, is document storage. Where you're storing your documents. Simple. That's the process that you're resorting to. And you converted your text into numbers and you place them into a database. Simple. Now, let me show you the other bit of it, where suppose that an end user, like you and me, is using the chatbot or the UI, user interface, that you built, and say they're typing some text. This person is typing the text into this box. Some question. Some question is being asked. This question gets converted into embedding using again some kind of encoder model. Because the text as is cannot be used. Text should be converted into numbers, or image, video, everything should get converted into numbers first. So maybe you have some kind of, okay, encoder model. I'm just trying to become a little creative here with my drawing. If you don't like it, just excuse me. Okay. Say some model, some encoder model you're using, and say you're coming up with again some embeddings. Embedding means numbers. You're converting your text. This particular user is asking some text. I'm moving patient from liver specialty to heart specialty. What is the process or protocol that has to be followed? And say you're getting the embedding here. You take that embedding and go and do a similarity search. Whatever question you're asking, it is getting converted into some numbers. And you know that entire training data, hospital process data, is also converted into numbers and stored in this database. User asked question also is getting converted into numbers. Using those numbers, some similarity search happens. Similarity search happens. To help you all understand the similarity search, I would take basic example. Say there is a word called gift. Oh, sorry, why gift? Speciality. And there is a word called liver. Just as an example, okay, I'm just giving you an example. So this specialty is represented using some numbers: 1, 3, 2, 0, 1, 9. In some numbers, okay. Say there is liver, which has 0, 2, 1, 6, 1, 7. Some numbers, okay. Now, how do you find the distance between these two numbers? Simple. Square root of 1 minus 0 whole square plus 3 minus 2 whole square plus 2 minus 1 whole square plus 0 minus 6 whole square plus 1 minus 1 whole square plus 9 minus 7 whole square. Now you solve it. 1 minus 1 whole square is 1 plus 1, 3 minus 2 is anyways 1 plus 2 minus 1 is also 1 plus 0 minus 6 is minus 6 whole square is 36 plus 1 minus 1 is 0, so you get 0. 9 minus 1 is, 9 minus 7 is 2, 2 square is 4. Take a square root of it. And you get again square root of 43. It will be something. Okay, 6.5 or something. So this is the distance between these two words. In that way, if this person is asking a question, what is the process to be followed to move a patient from liver specialty to heart specialty? For all those different words, which are converted into numbers, you go to this database. And in this database, already you have all these hospital documents, right, which are converted into numbers. You find the distance and you try to figure out, okay, on what are those documents, okay, or what are the relevant chunks. Remember, everything we divided into chunks. So what are the relevant chunks, okay, which are probably very relevant? So you might want to take top 10 or top 20 or top 30 relevant chunks. This top 10, 20, 30, etc. Instead of that, I'll put K. K can be anything. Top 10, top 20, K can be 10, K can be 20, K can be 30, whatever. Okay. Now, you take top K, relevant chunks. Documents are divided into chunks. So you get top K relevant chunks. Now what you do is you give all these chunks to your large language model. If you use ChatGPT, give it to ChatGPT or something else, right? So you give it to your large language model. And what does this large language model do? It will do two things. Now it will use the intelligence and bring in context into it. From these top 10 relevant chunks, it will start using different words, you will get different words, etc. Using all those words, it will create a nice paragraph. Okay, nice response. And also it will take this question that you have given. So it will look at the question, this large language model. It will look at the context of all these top K relevant chunks which are coming from your training data. And finally, it will give you an answer. This drawing that I've done here, okay, is going to give you high level understanding, right, on how the data is flowing, how the solution is going to work, etc. This is called as high level design document, which is very, very important, not just from your training standpoint. Even when you work on projects, it becomes very, very important. And this entire part, which is in blue color, is called as LLM prompting. LLM prompting. Any doubts? Any doubts? Anyone? Please ask. Feel free. if you know this part which I'm showing, it is more or less like you'll be able to understand the next steps very clearly. Okay. Yeah, we can use some distance, Srinivas. All right. So now what you can do is, I'm just making it very simple for the initial discussion. I don't want you all to be scared. That is the reason, right? Now, after your high level design, you need to come up with what? Decision analysis and resolution. Okay, let me put it here. Okay, you first come up with high level design document, which is the design that you're seeing here. After this, you go ahead with decision analysis and resolution. And eventually, after your DAR, you come up with low level design or detail level design. Correct? Now, what DAR should I do? What do you mean by DAR? Okay. Here, when you break down your documents into chunks, there are a lot of different chunking strategies. There are different chunking strategies. Which one do you want to use? Why do you want to use that? Okay. And when it comes to encoder model, there are a lot of techniques to convert your text into numbers. There are a lot of embedding techniques. Which technique are you going to use? Why are you going to use that? And when it comes to vector databases, you have a lot of vector databases. Why do you want to use a specific vector database? Based on what would you evaluate that? To give you all a sense of this, I asked our team members to create one quick thing. And share it with me. I think Rupa would have shared on a different account. That's okay. Let me show it to you guys. Okay, let me quickly show that to you. Yeah, the document. Nice document our team created for me to demonstrate as part of the trainings. So I'm going to share that right away with you guys. Just a moment. All this while my think webcam was disabled, right? Sorry. Just seeing on why that document hasn't reached me yet. Is it going to spam by any chance? No. Come on. Okay. Let me do one thing. Let me attach a new email and then send it here. DAR document. Okay. Once I show you this, things will become clear. Okay. There we go. Okay. So I'm sharing my screen, my dear friends. There we go. So for storage, right, you will have to look at is scalability a parameter criteria on which I need to evaluate the different vector databases. Like in vector databases, you have Chroma, you have FAS, so on and so forth. You have a lot of vector databases. You have Qdrant, many other. But you have to evaluate each of these against different parameters and then decide FISSability. And then you decide which one is the best on pricing, integration, ease of use, so on and so forth. Then you decide which one is the best, right? So this simple evaluation of different vector databases on different parameters is called as DAR, decision analysis and resolution. Okay, so this is how you have to do your decision analysis and resolution. So let me go back to the presentation here. What happened? Nothing is appearing. No. Oh, is it gone? Sorry. But that is how you create your high-level design document. Okay. And then come up with decision analysis and resolution, which is all about evaluating different things, right? Which large language model should I use? You have to evaluate all the models and see which one fits you. Which database should I use? You have to evaluate everything and then figure out which one is the best, right? And then you have to include the one which is the best as part of your detail level design document with more details, low level design or detail level design document. Okay, this marks the, business understanding phase. See, we are still discussing phase 1 only. Okay. However, I'm pretty sure you all are confident now that majority of the time should be spent on business understanding and data understanding. If you don't sweat in this phase, if you don't spend a lot of time in this phase, you will struggle in all the other phases. Throughout your project, you'll be struggling because you don't have clear understanding at all on how to build, what database to use, what large language model to use, so on and so forth. Yeah. So again, I'm not going into the depth of each and everything at a high level only. I'm trying to explain. Once you know these things, when you work on a project with us, okay, we'll be giving you more understanding. Okay, you learn more and more as and how we progress. Okay. So we have business understanding, all of these things ready. Now, data understanding part. But before I get into data understanding, I want you all to help me with a few things, right? And I'll ask that question here itself in the chat window. Let me put that. And no, I'm sharing the screen, my dear friend. We'll get there. We'll get into chat GPT, LLM and all that. We'll get there. Certainly, I'll explain all those things. Chat GPT is one of the large language models. Simple. LLM is large language model. It's called as large because it's trained on a lot of things. But in CRISP-MLQ, when we get into the modeling phase, I'll explain more. Okay. Now we are just in business understanding and data understanding phase. The question to you all is, name a few of the things I have written in the high-level design drawing. I've created a drawing, right, where I've shown you what happens and all that different words I've used, different terminologies. Name me a few, friends, please. I will feel happy if you remember and if you can name a few. Go for it. Please use the chat window here, and also people who are online, please type it in the chat window. Yeah, Anubhav, I think, asked a question. He's on YouTube. We'll get into the finer nuances of it at a later point of time. Let me make a note of the questions which are coming up so that I don't forget. You are asking me what is the difference between ChatGPT versus LLM, and another question is what is LLM? Well, then another question is explain top key chunks. Wow, wonderful. A lot of y'all are able to remember things. Yeah, great. LLM prompting, user interface, encoder model, embeddings, large language model, chunking, embedding. How do you calculate distance? What is a vector database? What is large language model? Wow, wonderful. You're able to yeah, you people were saying I'm not sharing the screen. I was sharing the screen, by the way. I don't know if there is any lag. Okay. All right. Good job. Good job, everyone. I truly appreciate. I truly appreciate. Okay. So, friends, once you're done with the business understanding part, you need to get into the data understanding bit of it. In data understanding, okay, I'll draw like this so that I have some space to write about data understanding. In data understanding, you need to spend some time to understand the data properties. How many documents are you collecting? What is the size of those documents? What is the format in which you have those documents? Is it .doc, .pdf? Okay. In what format do you have those documents? Size, format. Okay. And then you need to look at some other properties of the text itself. Like probably number of words. Simple. How many words do you have? How many numbers do you have? Okay, some properties, some word distribution. You need to do all of these things, or simply you can do a research on what is the exploratory data analysis that I can do if I have text data. How many positive words are there? How many negative words are there? How many neutral words are there in the data set? How many unique words are there? Okay. So you try to do some kind of data understanding. And also you need to figure out at this level on where are you going to save that data. Okay. That anyways will come up in the design document. But as part of data understanding also, you should be very clear. And then as part of data understanding, you need to come up with some interesting insights. Okay, you need to come up with very, very interesting insights pertaining to your data. These could be business insights or statistical insights. Usually when it comes to text data, it'll be slightly different. That is all I'm saying. Okay. Then you mark the closure of business and data understanding phase. And then you move on to the next phase. All right. We'll also talk about the next phase basically. And then we will move ahead. Why did we choose this? And one more very important thing is you come up with these insights, especially the statistical insights, for two purposes. One is the statistical insights will help you in the next phase, which is data cleansing or data preparation. And it will also help you in another phase, which is the last phase of CRISP MLQ. It has 6 phases, right? And the last phase is monitoring and maintenance. When we move to that phase, I'll certainly touch upon this. For now, remember that monitoring and maintenance phase is very important phase. The statistical insights will come in extremely handy at that point of time. Okay. Multiple things you can do. Yeah. And also you will get business insights document upon which you can start taking actions. Maybe your process itself is wrong. Hospital process document. When you did analysis, maybe you figured out that the process document itself is wrong. Okay. One second, just allow me a minute. Sorry. Okay, sorry about that. I'm just typing and writing a few things. All right. So next, let's move on to phase 2, which is data preparation phase. I will erase all of these, whatever is written here, and I'll show you this. Okay. At a bare minimum, even if you don't remember whatever I've written, you please remember what I've spoken. That is good enough, right? And the next phase is what? Data preparation phase. And as part of data preparation phase, you need to have a clear strategy on what are the various preparation or data cleansing steps you're going to perform based on your data understanding. So data understanding is nothing but exploratory data analysis, which will give rise to 2 documents after you do the analysis. One is the business insights document based on which your business stakeholders will take decisions. Then you have statistical insights document on which you perform data preparation. Okay. Any questions at this point of time before I proceed further? Any questions? Okay. So a few of the data preparation or data um, cleansing steps at this point of time includes removing noise. So you might have in your textual data, in your hospital data, etc., lot of special characters. Okay, those special characters could be exclamation mark, at the rate, whatever, dollar, all these things you might want to remove. Okay. The next thing is you might also want to look at any words which are going to lead to bias. Any data which is related to some kind of fairness. Okay. And any data which is unethical to have has to be removed. And since you're dealing with hospital data, you also might want to avoid including any data which has PII or PHI, personally identifiable information or personal health information. These kind of things should be avoided. Okay. All right. So, what do you mean by bias? Can you give an example? Okay. Predominantly, in the hospital data, etc., if at all, I'm saying if the data was, or the process or procedure documents are created bearing in mind, say, only male patients and not female patients, then your generative AI will probably generate results on these lines. The model may recommend incorrect procedures, incorrect treatments, or may miss critical aspects which have to be considered for female patients. Like usually the documents, etc., or the treatments, procedures, protocols which are given for heart attack are done based on the male patient's data. If you can look at the hospital literature, etc. And if you're supplying that kind of data to your generative AI model, and if you're making a model learn those things, it's going to adversely impact. The results or the procedures that it's going to give will be different. But female patients probably require slightly different treatment because of various issues. Okay. This is something related to bias. Or maybe to your hospital only kids come, only kids or youth comes to your hospital, right? and you created procedures and process documents based on that. What if now older people come in? Okay, old age people come in. Are you going to suggest the same treatment, same procedures, same protocol? Not really. Second, patients who come from certain areas, say you have your hospital in, initially say you set up your hospital in a place where people are poor. Then over a period of time, maybe you would have created your process documents, your procedures, protocols, etc., treatment steps, suit that community. Okay. Now, maybe the area where you have set up this hospital, slowly high rises came in, lot of buildings came in, people have been becoming richer, etc. Then the documents and the processes and procedures and protocols also should change accordingly. It cannot be the same old data. So in these kind of scenarios, if you don't change your process documents, or if you don't change your protocol documents properly, then it'll be unfair. It'll be giving you unfair results. Maybe, right? We don't know. We have to look into all these different aspects. Okay. And there could be a lot of unethical things, right? Unnecessary tests. Just a simple example is ensuring that your patients go through unnecessary tests and unnecessary expensive treatments, and recommending some kind of pharmaceutical drugs or some kind of medicines which are costly is an unethical practice. Do you have those kind of things in your documents? Not sure, but as part of data preparation, you should remove that. There's no question about having these things. Okay. Maybe in one of the procedures, one of the protocols, you might say that we'll be sharing your data with third party. And if you share the data with the third party without patient's permission, isn't that unethical? Yes, that is unethical. And by any standards, personally identifiable information, email ID, phone number, whatever, names of the people. Say in your process document, it is written that you have to capture the phone number, email ID, name, etc., and then share it with some other pharma company so that medicines reach you. That is a clear violation. It is data security breach, data privacy breach. So you have to look at all these different aspects. PHI is personal health information. What are the kind of diseases that I have should be with me only. If your process document suggests that, record all the details of the patient, all the diseases that the patient has, and share it with some other hospital, that is clearly breach of data privacy. So in this way, we should ensure that the process documents do not have any bias. Okay. It doesn't have any unfair elements, unethical elements, or anything which is going to breach your data privacy. Personal health information, PHI, or protected health information, however you want to call it. Hope this is helping you to some extent, right? All right. So in CRISP-MLQ, how many phases do we have, friends? Let me ask that question. Everyone, please answer. How many phases do we have in CRISP-MLQ? How many phases, friends? 6 phases, exactly. And what is the first phase of CRISP-MLQ? What is the first phase of CRISP-MLQ? I request everyone to please type. Yes, thank you. Business and data understanding. Within business and data understanding, what are a few things that you need to do? First, identify the business problem. Then identify high-level solution. Then come up with business objective. There can be one or many objectives, okay? And then come up with business constraints. Please keep typing. What are the various elements of business and data understanding phase? Please keep typing, friends. And then you also need to define the success criteria. Within success criteria, you need to record business success criteria, machine learning success criteria, and economic success criteria. That means what is the monetary benefit that people get. And then you need to come up with high-level design document, which is HLD. Then you use DAR, decision analysis and resolution. And then you need to come up with low-level design document, LLD. Once this part is completed, you move to phase 2. What is phase 2, friends? Data preparation. Oh, sorry, even before that, within this you have data understanding, right? Sorry, my bad. I didn't cover that element. Okay. Anyways, you also have data understanding. As part of data understanding, you perform exploratory data analysis of your data. For text mining, there are a lot of things that you can do, but ultimately you need to come up with 2 documents, which is business insights and statistical insights. And your statistical insights document should give you, in this case, for GenAI, also your business insights document will give you steps to perform data preparation. Of course, any mistakes, etc., that you have, you rectify it. Okay, all those are very basic things. If you have any special characters, noise, etc., you remove that. That is pretty obvious. However, you need to look at, do we have any elements of bias? Hopefully it is fair. It's not unfair. Are there any unethical aspects in your data? I'm talking only from GenAI standpoint, okay? This is generative AI training. So then you also need to look at data privacy things such as PII, PHI, etc. Okay, and I'm taking a healthcare example, so that is how I'm tweaking the entire conversation here. Yes, thank you so much. A lot of you all are, I think, very, very active. Thank you so much. Truly means a lot. Okay. That's about data preparation. So first 2 phases we discussed, I think this is good enough. Then tomorrow when we connect, we will actually get into the modeling phase. What is large language model? So on and so forth. What are the various tuning techniques? What do you mean by fine tuning versus what do you mean by track technique? What do you mean by hybrid technique? Okay, these kind of things we will discuss tomorrow. We will also discuss about evaluation of GenAI solution. Then we will talk about deployment of course, monitoring and maintenance. We'll cover all these things in the first 1 hour because at a high level I'll cover, okay? Because I need to get into the most important topic for tomorrow, prompt engineering. Once that is done, when we actually start talking about different applications, once again, I'll delve deeper into all these models. How do you decide and all that? Okay. Thank you so much, friends. Hopefully you enjoyed the session. Hopefully it is giving you meaningful inputs, meaningful insights. And there'll be questions which will be posted on LinkedIn. And I would request you all to respond to those questions. Thank you. Bye.